Thank you, Mark. Well, it has been some time in coming, but Manchester City are back in a European semi-final. A week that's already seen the addition of silverware continues with as big a game as Pep Guardiola has faced since his arrival. And for all of their domestic brilliance under Pep, and a haul of 7 trophies in a little over 2 years, the Champions League has stayed frustratingly out of reach. But having been able to push through the glass ceiling of the quarter-final stage, they're now in the last 4 for the first time under his auspices. These aren't entirely uncharted waters, but their previous visit 5 years ago came under altogether different circumstances. That meeting with Real Madrid was hardly a heady cocktail for success. Manuel Pellegrini's impending departure, City 12 points off the top of the table amidst intermittent form, whilst their opponents had won 11 of 12. City bowed out ahead of the impending pep up at the club. Things are very different now. For Guardiola himself, there is unfinished business in this competition. 9 successive seasons have brought frustration, failures with both Bayern and City, but he knows what it takes. It was 10 years ago yesterday that he masterminded one of his most famous wins, a Messi-inspired 2-0 success for Barca in the Bernabeu in the first leg of that season's semi-final. The second leg was a formality, his second Champions League triumph, followed within weeks. But each of his 4 semi-finals since have seen his side come up short, making this his holy grail. His press conference quote was telling: "The Premier League is the most important one, but the Champions League is the nicest one." Is this going to be his moment? Like City, PSG aim for their first ever European Cup triumph. It's taken a while for the oil money to push continental success down the pipeline, but still they dream. A side that's unashamedly built around individual stellar talent in contrast to City's approach. A decade of Parisian underperformance on the continental stage, blighted by inconceivable and spectacular collapses. But after a 25-year absence, they've now reached the last 4 in successive seasons, and the reacquaintance of Pep and Poch, the architects of one of the most engaging, dramatic and controversial Champions League ties ever seen a couple of years ago, renders this a classic in the making. Manchester City, light blue shirts and white shorts, and PSG in their customary dark blue with the red trim. And it will be Felix Bruck, the German referee, who will wait for the signal to get this game underway. And before kick-off, players from both sides unite to take the knee. One down, another one imminent, but the third leg of the treble is the one they crave. Paris Saint-Germain standing between Manchester City and their first ever Champions League final. We're underway, PSG kicking from right to left. Alongside me, the former Manchester City player and manager and former England captain, Stuart Pearce.
I think we're in for an absolute treat this evening, Jim. I really do in this game, and it'd be interesting. Sags touched on it in the build-up. The early interaction between the teams, the pattern of the game early on, which team are going to take the ascendancy, which team are going to push forward, and at this moment in time it's City playing in PSG's half.
The ball very quickly worked into the feet of Kylian Mbappe, and now worked out towards Neymar, coming in off the left-hand side. Mbappe making his trademark movement from in to out down towards the left-hand touchline. It's well dealt with by Stones, who followed him, and as the challenge comes in from the young Dutchman Bakker, he's given away a free kick which will be taken on the Manchester City right. Foul on Riyad Mahrez. You're listening to PSG against Manchester City in the Champions League. It's live on TalkSport with Music Magpie, the place to get great value certified refurbished phones and tech. Free kick taken short, worked back by Bernardo Silva to Stones, through the midfield towards Gundogan, who, as expected, is playing deep alongside Rodri, and Manchester City have started pretty much with a 4-2-3-1 formation. Gundogan almost sold Rodri a little bit short, and Verratti slid in to try and overturn possession. But City will be able to bring it away with Ruben Dias finding Gundogan. De Bruyne just dropping into a deep position. He is the false 9 tonight. Foden out on the left-hand side, receives the ball. Opportunity for him to run at Florenzi, but it's played back instead via Cancelo to Gundogan. Now to Rodri, the Tall, long-legged Spaniard, and he's lost possession. There's the turnover, and PSG can bring it forward. Mbappe finding Neymar. Neymar left-hand side of the area, gets a shot in, a disappointing one that Edison could save easily. But it only took 2 minutes for them to set up one of those crucial counter-attacks which they crave.
It did, and Sags mentioned prior to kick-off once again about that turnover of possession, how cute you've got to be. Make sure you don't give it away in dangerous areas, and that's exactly what City done then, and it's resulted at the first shot on target.
Ilkay Gundogan, the player that was at fault on that occasion, and he has possession here. What a season he's had, the best of his career. A man who has scored in the Champions League final in the past, back in his Dortmund days in a defeat to Bayern Munich. Here's Rodri. Rodri back for Kyle Walker. Now Walker into the feet of Gundogan again. Walker doing well, under a little bit of pressure from Neymar. Just dragged his studs over the top of the ball. Lays it back for Stones. Pressure being applied in the midfield by PSG. City trying to play around the press, have succeeded to a certain extent. Mahrez will be able to bring it infield, gets away from Verratti, little reverse ball in, De Bruyne chasing, really good covering from Marquinhos, who covered a lot of ground, and then it's well defended by Baka, who can flick it into the nearest Manchester City player to put it out for a goal kick. Tempo drawing the PSG players in, beating the press, and almost able to get De Bruyne into a shooting position.
Yeah, in these early stages, both teams just toying with each other at the moment, just sounding each other out. City obviously made that mistake earlier on, which led in the first effort. But on that occasion, we talked about a number 9 and a false number 9. I don't think Manchester City have got either, to be honest with you. They've got two players playing in inside right and inside left situations, and if they can, arriving in the number 9 position, that's what they do.
Now Foden having to come back to defend as the ball was worked down the right-hand side of the PSG penalty area. The cross that came in was overhit, and Kyle Walker can balloon a volley away. Headed back by Preno Kimpembe through the midfield, and then brought down by Mahrez coming into a more central area. Bernardo Silva, the lovely touch, then ran into Verratti, who stood his ground as he was entitled to do. Bernardo went down, play goes on. Mbappe through the midfield, a touch from Gay, who never beat Manchester City in his time in the Premier League when he was with Aston Villa, and then more extensively with Everton. Forward again from Mbappe, just drifting out to the left flank, brought away by Bernardo Silva, and he's done well, gets away from Verratti, beats Baka, finds De Bruyne working it forward. I think Bernardo realised that Mahrez was making the run and just got a slight deflection on the ball that was played forward, which took it out of Mahrez's path. But City have very quickly got possession back in the heart of the midfield, with good play by a combination of Gundogan and the captain De Bruyne. And it's the Belgian that has it. Feeds it back for Ilkay Gundogan. Gay tracking his every move. De Bruyne now sends a crossfield ball out to the City right for Mahrez. Controls it neatly with his left red boot and brings it back in field. His stop movement to bring the ball down on that right hand side, bring it onto his left foot, hope he gets shown inside and work the angle for a shot. Now they will try and play him in, but Gundogan just edging it forward a little bit too much, and it goes out of play for a goal kick. Now, we are in an industry that like to hyperbolize everything, but 5.5 minutes in, this does have the makings. This could be as good as everyone was expecting it to be.
Yeah, there's some outstanding talent on the pitch, Jim. I mean, in what we've seen, all players on this pitch comfortable with the ball in possession, and it's going to be fine margins that dictate over two legs which way this is going to go potentially. You know, the odd mistake here, a touch of brilliance, teams taking their opportunity and scoring the goal when they're on top.
Those are thoughts of Stuart Pearce alongside me, Jim Proudfoot, watching on from our studio monitors in London. Game taking place at the magnificent Parc des Princes in Paris, where it's a dry night in contrast to that in Madrid last night. 0-0 the score, 6.5 minutes gone here on TalkSport. The second leg of all of the European ties coming up for you next week. This one, Tuesday night, and will be live in the Etihad for Manchester City against PSG. Manchester City dominating possession tonight, but another slightly loose ball across the midfield. Mbappe and Neymar trying to seize upon it, but City very quickly got it back, and they have it with Diaz finding Gundogan. And Gundogan goes square to his right for Rodri. Rodri with the long diagonal. Too much on that for Mahrez, but they're trying to get Mahrez isolated against the rookie Bakker on the left-hand side at the moment.
Yeah, they certainly are, and on that occasion they decided not to go into Mahrez's feet. It was one of those, a ball over the top for the run without the ball, so I thought PSG's line was reasonably high, and certainly Bakker tucked in probably slightly too much. There's been a couple of warning signs for City. They've been a little bit loose with their possession. Rodri's been caught out, or nearly caught out.
Now Ruben Dias with an important defensive header as PSG looked long. And Mbappe made the run. It was just guided back to the goalkeeper, and Walker can now bring it away. And found himself converged upon from both sides by Neymar and Bakker. He ended up winning the throw, and he got an appreciative clout almost around the back of the head from his manager. An exuberant tap, let's put it down as. It's going to be a throw which will be taken by Walker himself on this near touchline. Forward towards Mahrez. Good control from him. Rodri turning it square through the midfield. An opportunity for Cancelo to bring it forward. Now Kevin De Bruyne has it. 10 yards outside the PSG penalty area. Back from him to Gundogan. Rodri down to Bernardo Silva, and then to Mahrez. Coming in on that right-hand side. Bakker doing everything he can to stop him cutting inside. Well, certainly prevented the shot. Laid back instead towards Walker. Mahrez immediately span away to get into a position for a return pass, but Walker to the more conservative option to his left-hand side. City then lose it with De Bruyne, losing out to Gay, but Rodri is in there strongly and wins it back immediately in the midfield from Idrissa Gana Gueye, and lays it back to his goalkeeper. And we're 9 minutes in, and it's still 0-0, but Manchester City dominating possession, 70-30 up to this point.
Yeah, even at this early stages, if City are going to score a goal, they're potentially going to have to play through a pretty compact press, and all the PSG players, PSG on the other side, look as though their best opportunity in these early stages will be counter-attack.
Two sides whose away form has been better than their home form. Not that Manchester City's home form has been too shoddy, but away from home, this extraordinary record-breaking run for an English team, which has seen them win their last 17 away fixtures. Last failure coming since then, 17 in a row, which is extraordinarily impressive when you consider the previous best by an English team was 11. Challenge came in from Paredes in the midfield. It then became a 50-50 with Bernardo Silva. He won that one as well, but Walker came back and clipped him, and the free kick has gone PSG's way.
I think Pep was a little bit disappointed then with Walker overrunning it, and Walker is in the centre circle at the moment, lying down. I think he's been winded potentially.
Well, De Bruyne is leaning over him and is now just helping him back to his feet. Seeing a replay, it was an injudicious lunge really with Paredes, who was, you'd have to feel, out of control as he came in off the ground with his right foot. Okay, I'd have to feel he was out of control. The look that you gave me suggests that was the tackle that was de rigueur. He didn't make any contact with the player, it wasn't a foul, but I'm just saying that it was...
Jim, we've got a new word that's crept in the game, and it's called out of control. I was never out of control over 40 years of playing the game, you know, so don't tell me these players are out of control, please.
I'm looking at it through a referee's pair of binoculars.
I know you are.
Here's Walker. Walker able to bring it forward, finds Bernardo Silva, now down towards Mahrez. And Mahrez with an opportunity, brings it towards the edge of the penalty area. Bakker's done well, comes back and just nips in and intercepts, got his body between Mahrez and the ball. Now Angel Di Maria, playing a couple of Manchester derbies in his time, his brief time with United. Paredes depositing the ball at the feet of Neymar and then leaving him to it. Now an opportunity for Di Maria to try and make headway. Mbappe ahead of him. It's half cleared by City. Draxler, Bakker, I beg your pardon, down towards Di Maria. Di Maria on the left-hand touchline and taking on Kyle Walker, trying to get the ball in. Walker blocked the cross, but it goes out of play for the first corner of the night to PSG. 0-0.
With the quality on the pitch at the moment, you've really got to concentrate. It's intriguing for me to watch this. If you're a defender in either team, the quality of your defending is done in the main by your concentration levels. It really is. You've got to concentrate. When you don't think danger, there is danger.
Neymar to take this corner, which is going to be a right-footed in-swinging delivery. Plenty of pace on, he goes very deep and he finds his way through. Cancelo just got caught under the fly with the ball, it's laid back the edge of the area, shot comes in, Forrest had legs to get through and he didn't get through them. Half clear, but it looked very dangerous. Back out as far as Neymar again. Neymar left hand side of the box, little give and go, opens up for a right-footed shot which took a deflection and then Ederson sticks a hand above his head and flick it over the bar. Such a good save that Marquinhos is there to shake his hand. Corner taken quickly. Neymar trying to find a way through again. Gets to the byline. That one played in. Hit Walker on the chest. Cleared out as far as Kimpembe. And then City will be able to clear. But that was a little bit frantic, that passage of play. They've got away with it and survived, and it stays 0-0.
Well, it was incredible. Neymar just inside the box on the point of the area. And he's got the ball, he's fronted up by two City players, flicks it through to Verratti, goes the other side of the first two. It's basically a 4-on-2 in City's favour, and his footwork is that clever. Oh my goodness, I'm just trying to roll the clock back and think what it might be like to defend someone like him with his feet as quick as they are.
Can I make a suggestion? Do something out of control. That'll sort him out. Here's Verratti, back for Gay. Gay 10 yards inside the Manchester City half, into the feet of Neymar again. I mentioned earlier his goal scoring form by his standards has not been great recently, but he's had a very sharp start of this game. Ball played back now towards the edge of the penalty area. Kylian Mbappe, blue shirts back very quickly. Gundogan stopping him getting a shot in. Laid back now for Di Maria, left-footed effort, takes a deflection. Ederson can't prevent another corner and then has to put the brakes on really sharply. I'm sure he doesn't get a face full of cameraman and hoardings, but he did. He's unhurt. Play continues with a corner, which will be taken on the PSG right. They're third in quick succession.
Yeah, putting a little bit of pressure on there, and Ederson, as he shot off behind the goal to try and receive it, I thought he rolled his ankle slightly, so doesn't seem to be having too much of a problem, I don't think.
Well, play's going to just be halted before the corner comes in. Felix Brooks having a word with Ruben Dias, who's standing trying to protect the near post area. And he's got Di Maria. He's going to take it. He's putting his right arm above his head, and the referee's blowing his whistle again, as you will have heard, and still the pushing and shoving is going on. It's Paredes that is involved. Dias is just trying to move him away. Comes in towards the near post. Oh, it's in. Marquinhos, little flick header, and the set piece gives PSG the lead. Everybody looking at Paredes near post. Rather, Marquinhos came in behind him and just brushed the forehead to it and bullets it in. PSG 1, Manchester City 0.
Well, it's took us less than 15 minutes to realise the first goal in the game. We've had a few chances, certainly at City's end, that is for sure. And what broke the deadlock was a set play. There was a bit of nudging and a bit of propositioning with each other beforehand, but when it come in, Marquinhos, fantastic run to the near post and a glancing header past the goalkeeper, no chance.
Well, I'm not quite sure how he got free. He made his run from deep. There was a free header by the time he got there. Steered it in beautifully. One of the PSG players hoping for revenge after being in the PSG side that was beaten by Manchester City in the quarterfinals back in 2016. And it's he that supplies the early breakthrough. Scored at Old Trafford and now scores against Manchester City. His second goal in this Champions League campaign this season. 1-0 to PSG.
What they've got to do, Jim, is to be calm, City. They cannot afford, having lost that early goal, to do anything silly, to go chasing the game. They're still well and truly in the game. They've got as much quality in their side, certainly, as PSG have. Got to make sure that they keep it calm and don't lose both ties on French soil.
Here comes City again, and Marquinhos back in the customary defensive duty, just steps up from the defensive line to get it away. Di Maria, though, has lost the possession. Cancelo's won it back over on the Manchester City left. He's turned it back through the legs of Angel Di Maria to find Ilkay Gundogan. Gundogan cleverly working the angle to play it square to Rodri, but in taking Gay out of the picture to do so. Bernardo Silva's now got it. Now towards Mahrez. Mahrez square through the midfield for Rodri again. Now towards Walker. To Riyad Mahrez once more. And only the fourth goal that Manchester City have conceded away from home in this season's competition. Scored 21.
In the game at the weekend that we watched, the key area for City was certainly in the wide areas, Foden and Mahrez, and certainly PSG would have seen that, and I think that's where the game was won and lost at the weekend for City. At the moment they're keeping both wide players reasonably quiet.
So it's the two balls on the pitch. The ball's gone out of play for a throw, and that was of Mahrez's making. He was very clever there. It's just delayed the restart effectively. I say it was the fourth goal City have conceded away from home. It's not. It's the second they've conceded away from home. Only the fourth they've conceded all told in this Champions League campaign this season. The blonde-haired Dutchman back up, takes the throw into the feet of Neymar. PSG leading by a goal to nil here on Talk Sport. What a crossfield ball that is from Neymar to find Florenzi, the Italian bringing it forward to the feet of Di Maria. Quickly back for Gay, the midfield spoiler alongside Paredes. Verratti loses possession, stays down for a moment. Neymar trying to win it back from Mahrez, has fouled him. PSG players and coaching staff do not agree with that decision. There's a free kick to Manchester City. 18 gone. PSG leading Manchester City by a goal in the Champions League. It's live on Talk Sport with McDonald's McDelivery. Order McDelivery now and get McDonald's delivered straight to your doorstep.
Yeah, top quality referee in there. Who's on it. A couple of times players have gone down fairly cheaply. He's not having any nonsense, telling them to get up, get on with it, not stopping the game in any way, shape or form.
To charge the 2017 Champions League final, Felix Brook, one of the Real Madrid trio of victories. To charge the Europa League final a few years before that as well, one of the best officials in the game. Rodri has possession. Feet of Ilkay Gundogan. Back it goes for Ruben Dias. Manchester City, a goal down, an early goal, not quite as early as the breakthrough came when Manchester City and Spurs met in the quarterfinals a couple of years ago. Rodri, right-footed crossfield ball out towards Riyad Mahrez, who takes it down, kills it brilliantly. Now taking on back, getting towards the byline, back onto his left foot, clips it in. De Bruyne, right-footed effort from him is headed away. It was a cross which Kimpembe could deal with. City still pushing the bodies forward, not gambling with a capital G by any extent, but they're leaving plenty of space. It's a high line that they're defending with, which Neymar and Mbappe might feel they can exploit. City will bring it forward, chasing this away goal. Phil Foden has it into the feet of Gundogan. Gundogan's continued his run forward, coming in round the far post. Bernardo Silva did really well to hook a left foot to what looked like an overhit cross and get it on target. And Navas just getting his hands down by the near post, prevented it from squeezing in. It really was a shot out of nothing there.
It was, as you mentioned slightly earlier there, PSG playing very narrow and together. Makes it very difficult to go through them, but you can go round the outside with diagonal passes like we've just seen.
Mahrez swinging the corner in, which was Manchester City's first. And Marquinhos got his head to that one as well, as he did to such good effect at the other end 5 minutes ago. PSG leading by a goal to nil. They have been beaten at home 7 times in all competitions this season, including by Manchester United and by Bayern Munich. In this competition, 5 league defeats as well, including a potentially costly one to current leaders Lille, who might be able to deny PSG the French league this season. Very close, just the 1 point between the pair of them at the top of Ligue 1 with 4 games to go. They've got it again at PSG in the midfield. Kylian Mbappe with a little step over. It's Verratti that makes the ground to his left. Pulled back to the left back backer on halfway. Now Kimpembe, whose only goal of his career came against Mancunian opposition when he scored at Old Trafford a couple of seasons ago. Verratti sliding in, got it away from De Bruyne, back for Kimpembe. Now Marquinhos, who has been injured recently, hasn't played since he netted in the first leg at Bayern Munich in the last round, making his comeback tonight and has scored again. PSG bringing it forward again with Florenzi in a more advanced position, the right back, and so City turn over possession. They have a little bit of space with which to work. Florenzi, knowing that, has come back and caught his man. And Rodri, the player that ends up on the deck, appeals from him that it should be a yellow card. Nothing given. It's a free kick though to Manchester City in the midfield for a cynical challenge. He was just going to make sure that he definitely curtailed Manchester City's possession there, come what may. Midway through the first half, it's PSG 1, Manchester City 0 on TalkSport. And here's Stuart Pearce.
Just looking at PSG's lineup out of possession, they've almost got Di Maria one side, doubling up with his full-back, and on the other side he's got Verratti coming back. They're almost a 4-4-2 near enough out of possession, with Neymar and Mbappe as a two-strike force. And then Verratti gets into the number 10 area as soon as they turn possession over.
Neymar has actually come up a little bit deeper this time to be able to pick up possession, and takes a spectacular fall down inside the centre circle, rubs his knee as he lands. And Kevin De Bruyne, the man that gave the free kick away. Neymar still in his 20s, but a goal scorer of 325 goals at club level in his career. And he can add another 60 odd to that for Brazil. Kylian Mbappe, on the other hand, just 22, and he's already got 127 for PSG alone. Tidy numbers, and as I mentioned earlier, 37 this season, and 19 of those, more than half, have come in the last 14 games. Here's Marquinhos, who's the one man who has scored tonight, from a header from a Angel Di Maria corner. PSG leading by a goal to nil.
I think probably the tidiest figure you just mentioned there was Mbappe's age.
It's frightening, isn't it? 22.
I was astounded when you've just said that, to be honest.
And he makes his way forward now. Ruben Dias able to block the cross that came in, hook back over the top, and the Stones can successfully shepherd that one back for Edison. Yeah, he seems to have been around forever. Kylian Mbappe, because he was a regular at Monaco as a 17-year-old. He's got a lot of miles on the clock for somebody his age, but what a talent. And if anybody told you that he was the best in the world, it would be hard to come up with constructive evidence against that. Here's Ruben Dias finding Stones. 24 gone, it's 1-0 to PSG. So far to go yet. Still inside the opening 25 minutes of this first leg. Second leg to come next Tuesday on TalkSport, with the Sags in the chair for that one as well. 7 o'clock next Tuesday night. There's so much football coming up between now and then on the TalkSport network, including Manchester City's next game, the league encounter at Palace at the weekend, which kicks off 12:30 Saturday. That one live on TalkSport for you as part of Game Day Live with Sam and Trevor Sinclair. Here's Bakker, left back pushing forward. Hasn't really done that too often. He's tended to stay at home. Former Ajax man at the moment, but he's in a more advanced area here. Verratti doesn't use him. He goes to his right instead for Paredes. Now finds Gay. Back for Marquinhos. And Marquinhos plays it out to the PSG right-hand side for Angel Di Maria. Takes a touch and then almost languidly just works it back through the midfield again towards Marquinhos. A slightly misdirected ball still ends up at the feet of Di Maria again. Verratti back to him. The Argentinian working it forward and continuing his run. Verratti in possession. Very difficult man to shake off the ball. Now he finds Florenzi, who's a deflected cross. Goes behind and out of play for another PSG corner. They're fourth.
I think what City have got to do to break PSG down a little bit is to get their fullbacks on. Walker's got to surge on a little bit. Verratti's done really well at facing him up, but he's not had to go and really defend in deep areas. Same with Di Maria. The pair of them don't really want to defend, but they're doing a great job for the team. But they've got to put them on the back foot by surging forward, both fullbacks.
Yeah, PSG the better side at the moment. 26 gone. They lead 1-0. In from Di Maria again, and Edison comes out, punches it clear. Paredes is claiming that he was pushed to the deck in the ensuing melee and jockeying for position as the corner came in, and Mbappe is just being told to halt proceedings before taking the subsequent corner. I don't know whether that means that the VAR is having a look at anything. Daniel Siebert is the man that is overlooking things remotely tonight. Well, they're just having a look to see how Paredes ended up on the deck. I think that everybody is happy, are they? The referee's blown his whistle again. I don't think it will be a penalty. He's happy that play can continue. First of all, though, he's just having another word with Ruben Dias. Because Ruben Dias and Paredes is a battle that is taking the attention of all of the officials at the moment. So in comes the corner from Neymar in towards that near post area. Oh, it should have been two. Fired in, and Paredes it was that got the jump. Just peeled away from Ruben Dias. He's 4 yards out and he's headed it wide.
Yeah, potentially not as easy as first viewing thought. He's got Diaz right behind him, putting pressure on him. He's turned his head to try and guide it, as Ederson is forced to slide in and get the ball away with a sliding tackle about 8 yards from goal. Going back to that previous incident, yeah, I think that had, in fairness, looking at the replay, had Paredes got his header on target, it would have hit Diaz and probably bounced off him to safety and had to play for another corner. But what I would say, Jim, the quality of the three corners that have come in, they've been hit with whip and violence and really, really difficult to defend.
28 minutes gone, PSG 1, Manchester City 0 on Talk Sport. And for all the fact that City have had the majority of possession, it's 6 shots to 1 in PSG's favour. And at the moment, you'll have to say the game plan isn't working effectively for Pep and his man.
No, I think they're struggling a little bit here personally. I think they've had decent possession without breaking the opposition down. Tactically, they've been very good, PSG, in basically going to a 4-4-2 out of possession and stopping City coming through the middle of them, being very tight and very narrow.
Kimpembe putting his left foot underneath the ball to drive it forward towards halfway. Mahrez trying to turn, fouled by Bacca right on the right-hand touchline, about 15 yards into Parisian territory. And it's a free kick which will be taken by Manchester City.
I think Bacca likes to get nice and tight on his players. He's defending fairly narrow, tucking in with his when the ball's on the opposite side, and they need to get the ball switched to Mahrez quickly so they can have a little run at him and see how good he is when he's backed into the box.
He's got a touch of the max headrooms about him. As Bacca holding up. I was going to say there's a cultural reference that everybody under 40 will go, what? Mahrez preparing to take this free kick, and City have 5 strewn in a line across probably 2/3 of the width of the penalty area, and PSG have nearly everybody back in that line trying to stop them. Mahrez runs over it, De Bruyne with the delivery, and Navas could have caught it, came out and double-fisted it clear, and out of play for a throw that will be taken on the Manchester City left. 30 minutes gone, 1-0.
Yeah, well, arced-in free kick there, probably slightly too close to the goalkeeper. The goalkeeper taking no chances and punching though.
And here's Mbappe, trying to get round the challenge which came in, couldn't do so, and that'll be a yellow card. Joao Cancelo with a clear foul.
As soon as he set off to engage the striker, you knew that there was a booking coming. He just made his mind up, probably 5-6 yards away, and it was a really, really poor challenge. And I'll tell you what, I'm going to stick my neck out here and say he was out of control, Jim.
As is the current vogue. An 8th yellow card of the season for Joao Cancelo. 31 gone, 1-0, PSG lead. A free kick which is taken from almost the right place, about 10 yards further infield than where the infringement took place. So we're back for Keylor Navas, the goalkeeper. Last time that Manchester City got through to the semi-finals 5 years ago. Played against Real Madrid. Keylor Navas in goal for Real Madrid that day. He's given it away here. He's found Foden only. Left-hand side of the penalty area. Clipped in by Foden. Header back from Mahrez. An important one away from Marquinhos. No one too sure where the ball had gone. And Navas has been able to stop it going over the byline and out of play. And then as the ball is played forward quickly, Neymar is unceremoniously decked. And it will be a free kick. It was Walker went to meet the ball with his right foot, missed it with his right, got Neymar with his left, But City haven't been able to create too many opportunities. Be a little bit frustrated that they couldn't make more of the gift from Keylor Navas.
Yeah, it was a poor pass out from the goalkeeper. Foden picked it up and flighted a delightful ball to the back post that was headed back across the goal, but two covering defenders there, both got a block on.
Yeah, good play by Paredes as well. Leandro Paredes, who's started 7 of the last 8 Champions League ties. PSG working all the way back. Find Marquinhos. Ball works square through the midfield. It's actually Manchester City's 4th European semi-final. A couple of Conference Cup semi-finals back in the early 1970s. One against Schalke, which they won on aggregate. One against Chelsea the following year, which they lost. Well, if you throw in the 2016 Champions League tie against Real Madrid as well, as Neymar brings it forward, goes out towards Di Maria. Di Maria, right-footed ball in, well defended by Diaz, out only as far as Di Maria gets a shot in on the turn, which Foden blocks at source. And now De Bruyne can bring it down. He's found himself crowded out of it, as well won back. Gay did well, withstood the physical battle in the midfield. The slightly built PSG man, he did very well there. Here's Verratti clipping it right-footed over the top. Oh, Mbappe, first touch was poor. What a good job it was, sets it up instead. Bakker with a left-footed shot. Still waits for the first goal of his career as it hits stones. And then eventually, as it's cleared, De Bruyne will scamper after it, and Navas is forced to come out of his penalty area and just flick it, cushion the ball out of the left-hand touchline. The Kimpembe can mop up, but just for a moment it looked as though they got Mbappe in, but his touch uncharacteristically heavy, and he couldn't get a shot in to make it 2. Here's Di Maria, skips around 2 challenges towards the edge of the penalty area. Neymar can't get a touch that he wanted, and Walker shepherds it back to his goalkeeper.
If the game keeps following the pattern it's doing at the moment, this could finish 3 or 4-0 to PSG. City need to arrest the flow of the game at the moment. PSG, every time they're going forward, the fleet footwork of their players, it's just too much for City to deal with, and they've been very unfortunate not to have got the second.
So what are the areas in which Manchester City are losing the battle?
Well, firstly, they need more impact. We've had nothing from Foden, De Bruyne and Mahrez. They've got to switch the ball a little bit quicker than they have, and potentially with this tight back 4 that PSG have got, they've got to play diagonal balls into Mahrez, into Foden, and here's one, they've just played it now, just too far for Mahrez. But what they've got to do is draw the back 4 across to the right hand side and then switch to Mahrez to get in behind it if they possibly can. Trying to go through the middle is very, very difficult at the moment. And as I said before, the fullbacks have got to gallop on and put Verratti and Di Maria in deeper positions and make them defend a bit more.
Well, all the good chances are coming PSG's way at the moment. 4 shots on target from them. Only 1 from Manchester City so far. And both sides have had as many off-target as they've had on target. Edison comes to the left-hand side of his penalty area. He's missed his kick. He shanked it away with his left boot, then took it down towards the corner flag, tried to volley it into the seats so that he could get back in time. And went out of play for a throw. Di Maria had the sense to pick up a spurious ball from behind the touchline, so they didn't have to wait for that one that Edison had deposited halfway down the Seine to come back. But they didn't take the throw quickly in the end, and Edison got back. Now they try and work it forward with Florenzi, trying to find the ball down the channels for Kylian Mbappe, and City will bring it away.
If I was Pep now, Jim, I would be hoping to get in at half-time with the score still at 1-0. I'm not seeing City getting a goal. I hope I'm wrong. I often put my foot in it, but at this moment in time the only thing I can see is PSG getting another goal, and he'll need to get them in at half-time no worse than 1-0.
Well, Manchester City, as I mentioned, have played 3 European semi-finals in the past, and all 3 they have lost the away leg 1-0. No impediment against Schalke. They made it through the big win at Main Road, but didn't get through either of the other 2. They've certainly got work to do in this. Neymar trying to get away from Kyle Walker. Plays down towards Angel Di Maria. Back for Neymar again. Neymar just trying to work the ball through, and Mbappe's got it. Ruben Diaz is with him. Neymar comes outside the penalty area to dart back in. He got the return ball, but again City can deal with it. Next phase of play, PSG bring it forward but lose it. Mahrez right in the challenge which came in on him for Paredes. And now Manchester City might be able to break quickly, although PSG have got their defensive shake back really quickly behind the ball. De Bruyne has it, plays it out to Foden. Foden coming in off that left flank for Manchester City. It's back for De Bruyne again. Now down towards Rodri. De Bruyne at the corner of the box. Pull back towards Rodri again. But there's not the tempo, there's not the fleetness of foot for Manchester City that their hosts have shown in and around this kind of area. Well, within the proximity of the opposition penalty area. Foden to De Bruyne. Bernardo Silva made an early run, but they didn't try and spear it over the top of the PSG back line. It's the patient build-up again. De Bruyne has it now inside the box, right in the challenge to Verratti. Got it across the edge of the 6. And Bakker fairly clear before Bernardo Silva can do anything with it. And it's out for another Manchester City corner.
Yeah, it's the first time that City have got the ball out to the wide player in Foden on that occasion, and then played that reverse ball to the touchline that City loves so much, and then from there they pull back and looking for tap-ins. It's the first time they've managed to get to the byline, apart from the giveaway of possession by the goalkeeper in 38 minutes.
De Bruyne taking the corner. Navas again gets the palms of his hand to it just to knock it down towards the edge of the area where Neymar can then find Angel Di Maria. And Di Maria lays it square to his left-hand side. Paredes has got plenty of space in the midfield as he just ventures forward through a couple of thickly cut dark green stripes of the pitch. Plays it forward towards Verratti. And now Verratti approaching halfway, slowing things down, trying to engage Kevin De Bruyne. City haven't been able to get De Bruyne into the game nearly as much as they would like. Foden coming back, trying to deal with Neymar. Still Neymar has it. Foden passes him on to Cancelo, who wins it cleanly, crucially, because he's on a yellow card, but got that one away, although Neymar stays down. And be a throw which will be taken over on the PSG right-hand side. 1-0, they lead. Manchester City. City knocked PSG out in the quarterfinals in 2016. They also met once in the UEFA Cup back in 2008, a 0-0 draw at the Etihad that day. But Neymar has stayed down here. It's an arm problem. It's an awkward fall. And as he's put his right hand down to try and break his fall after the challenge from Cancelo, all of his weight has gone through it. So whether it is an arm problem, as seems to be the case, maybe you can do shoulder ligaments that way as well. Foden comes across and helps him back to his feet, but it's clearly a real sore one for Neymar, who has got his right hand cupped around his left elbow. But he's going to be able to continue without the need for any treatment. There was a hand of apology from Cancelo. It wasn't a foul. Play will restart with a throw. Taken quickly by Verratti. Still Neymar looking in a great degree of discomfort, almost a spectator at the moment. He's was doubled up in pain still. Florenzi inside the penalty area, continues his run and puts it through towards Neymar, goes down inside the penalty area. But it was a clean challenge. All eyes immediately on referee Felix Brook. But no penalty.
Well, that will be an interesting one to see again. Neymar's driven in there, loose ball, 8 yards out, looking to get a strike away, and he went tumbling. The footwork is so good.
Long range shot from distance that you can definitely file under optimistic. Joao Cancelo hitting it from fully 35 yards and high and wide. Having another view of it, Neymar making his way forward. The sliding challenge came in. I think he was actually caught by Florenzi, by his teammate. Just caught as he slid in to try and flick it forward. He just caught Neymar on the back of the heel, which sent Neymar tumbling. So he had every right, Neymar, to appeal for a penalty, because he knew that he'd been fouled. The thing was, it was by one of his own teammates. Here's City working for, what a chance. Phil Foden, good save Navas. Got his hands above his head and beats it away. City turning over possession, trying to work it towards Foden. Left-hand side of the penalty area. Gundogan played him in. Time to take a touch and steady himself, but he hit it too close to the goalkeeper, very centrally. And that meant Navas was able to make the save.
Yeah, it ended up being a really poor effort by Phil. What he should have done, took it first time, just let the ball come across him and curl it into the corner, but he's ended up trying to put pace on the ball and just hit it straight just above the goalkeeper's head. More than comfortable for the goalkeeper, two-handed parry away. But it looks as though the only way City are going to get something is by a mistake from PSG at the moment, because when they're playing through them, they're defending so well and so compact that it's very, very difficult to get through them.
That said, though, the only way might be through a mistake, but the mistakes have actually been forthcoming.
They certainly have. I mean, it's such a high-pressure game for both teams that, I'll tell you what, he's done well, Verratti, this evening, in and out of possession.
Another good challenge to dispossess Riyad Mahrez this time, and Mbappe will be able to bring it forward. A little step over, and Cancelo stood firm. Long time to walk the yellow card tightrope up against Mbappe and Neymar. De Bruyne laying it off for Gundogan, finding Bernardo Silva, who can flick it into his path and then turn and run onto it and bring it into PSG territory. Kyle Walker, forward from right back for Manchester City, lays it back for Mahrez. Mahrez to Rodri. Gay sliding in very quickly there ahead of Bernardo Silva. The Stones will bring it forward. De Bruyne can take it on the turn. Can't find a way past Marquinhos, the scorer of the goal. Manchester City have been behind for nearly half an hour. And there's this play for Di Maria is caught by Walker. And it's a free kick which will be taken by PSG just inside their own half. 90 seconds to half time. It's not going to be too much time to be added on. And it's still 1-0 to PSG.
Yeah, I'm not sure City will get a more clear-cut chance this evening than the one we've just seen from Phil Foden. Really was a good opportunity. Pep's reaction on the touchline, that of frustration. He knows a better effort should have been put away. And certainly worked the goalkeeper a bit more than he actually was.
City have scored in all but 2 of their last 34 games, thwarted by Manchester United in the league and then the FA Cup semi-final against Chelsea, averaging more than 2 goals a game in all competitions this season. PSG, for their part, have scored 112 goals in all of their games. Manchester City on 113. That's coming into tonight, so in fact Marquinhos' goal has levelled up the season's artillery for both of these teams. 30 seconds to go to half-time here on TalkSport, and it's 1-0 to PSG. Kyle Walker's got it and he knocks it square through the midfield towards Ruben Dias. And now Gundogan. Play back, De Bruyne stretching, can't bring it under control. Paredes has it, Paredes to Neymar. They give him the instruction to turn and the Brazilian works it forward. He finds Kylian Mbappe, the World Cup winner. Bacca making a run outside him. Still Mbappe has it, trying to shimmy and shuffle his way through. Couldn't do so, and then Bernardo Silva winning it back has given it straight away again to Bacca. And Mbappe comes forward and wins the throw. We're in 1 additional minute at the end of this first half. And PSG in no hurry to take this throw, just to run the clock down to make sure that they take the advantage into half-time. Verratti taking it down towards Mbappe. Lovely little clever drag back from him and continues his run. Walker knocks it away into PSG territory. Marquinhos got all the time in the world, just drop back, run round it and find his centre-half partner Kimpembe. PSG leading Manchester City by a goal to nil. Kimpembe just working it forward for Bacca. Clever little pirouette flick from Bacca. City win it back. Mahrez down for Bernardo Silva. Bernardo forward towards Mahrez again. Back for Bernardo. Bernardo to Rodri. Manchester City opening up the space cleverly here. Gundogan time very much against them at the end of the first half. The minute has been played. Foden back towards the edge of the box. Right-footed ball played in, and as that's deflected away, Felix Brook brings an end to proceedings. Well, Manchester City have had to wait 5 years to get back to the Champions League semi-finals. So far, they haven't done themselves justice. Only halfway through the first of the two legs, but they have been second best. Marquinhos with a header from a corner, the difference between the sides. Manchester City need to improve. PSG 1, Manchester City 0. Well, thank you, Sags, and it has to be said that 45 minutes to come, you can't really feel that on the strength of PSG's performances this season, it's notwithstanding Manchester City's excellent defensive record, but you can't rely on PSG going to the Etihad and not scoring. So from that point of view, City desperately need an away goal here, because if they don't get one, they're going to have to score 3 or more if they're going to win the second leg at home. So it's a massive 45 minutes coming up.
Yeah, on this performance by PSG, I certainly would agree with that. They've got the opportunity to score goals. They have, looking at them, if they can carry on in the same vein, you wouldn't be surprised if they got a goal in the second half of this game. I think City are a little bit shell-shocked by the performance of PSG, and you're going to remark on Neymar's elbow, aren't you?
I am going to remark on Neymar's elbow, because it's been all bandaged up. You remember he had that heavy challenge from Joao Cancelo, which was a fair one as the second half gets underway. He left him on the deck. He went down very awkwardly, and he's re-emerged for the second half with his left arm and elbow all bandaged up. But he continues, and there are no changes in personnel at this juncture for either team. I'll run you through the two sets of players in a moment. With Manchester City in possession, they're kicking from right to left as we look at these pictures from our studio monitors in London. And the ball is cleared by Edison. It's fluorescent pink, and it's a long punt forward. Mahrez chasing it, back is there to knock it away. And returning through the midfield, it bounces a little bit awkwardly. City can bring it down, but it just evades De Bruyne. Coming across to mop over the back is John Stones, who will work it forward. And Kimpembe's got enough of a head start to be able to get there ahead of Bernardo Silva, and then he'll clear left-footed. City, though, winning the second ball, and Mahrez is fouled by Bacca. There's a free kick to Manchester City over on the right-hand side. City lining up Edison in goal, Walker, Stones, Ruben Dias and Cancelo. And then Rodri, Gundogan and Bernardo Silva. Foden and Mahrez wide, and De Bruyne through the middle. PSG, Navas in goal, Florenzi, Marquinhos, Kimpembe and Bacca. Di Maria, Paredes, Gay and Verratti. And Neymar and Mbappe up front. It's a 4-4-2 more often than not for PSG. We're 90 seconds into the second half. What can Manchester City do from this first set piece since the resumption? Mahrez runs over it, De Bruyne fires it in, Bacca heads it away, bounces inside the penalty area. Foden then diverts the header back towards Joao Cancelo, and it's back for Phil Foden again. He's played it behind Cancelo into his own half, and City will build from much deeper. Yeah,
if we had a heat map on the passing of Phil tonight, he's certainly Foden. He's played so much backwards. It's come out to him and it's gone backwards. He's just going to have to try and break the monotony of that up, and at least go and take someone on and see where it takes him and the team.
Still, Manchester City struggling to make their slight advantage in terms of possession count for anything. 4 attempts to PSG's 9 in the first half. Bernardo Silva, this is better. De Bruyne works it in, he's unlucky. Double ricochet came back off him and goes out of play for a goal kick, having initially been blocked by Kimpembe. But a little bit more purpose from Manchester City at the beginning of this second half.
Yeah, they've certainly come out, and that they put PSG territorially on the back foot slightly. But my major concern is that they get suckered for a second goal, and then all of a sudden, you know, the confidence of the team drops slightly, and they become a little bit looser, and that will play right into PSG's hands.
Gundogan bringing the ball down in the midfield after a poor Kimpembe clearance, but De Bruyne with a touch that wasn't his best, and all of a sudden Kylian Mbappe going up through the gears. Walker's done really well there, just to come back, stayed with him rather than committing himself and diving in, and then made the intervention at the optimum moment just to be able to flick it away from Kylian Mbappe, but boy does he go up through the gears quickly. He's got some acceleration on him, almost unparalleled, extraordinarily quick. Here's Ilkay Gundogan at the back for Manchester City, forward towards De Bruyne. Chips it out towards Kyle Walker. First touch not the best, he rescued it in time before it went out of play for a throw, and Bernardo Silva takes over. Now to Mahrez. Mahrez shown inside again by Bakker, finds De Bruyne. This is 25 yards outside the PSG penalty area. Now worked forward into the feet of Mahrez. Coming to meet it, Gundogan. Foden to Cancelo. Cancelo tracks back onto his right foot, and then a lovely little body shimmy gets the better of Di Maria, who's helped to the ground by the Argentine. He stayed down as well as Joao Cancelo. An overhit cross goes out of play for a throw. Felix Brook, who waved him up, will now go over to see the severity of Joao Cancelo's problem.
I like this referee. He takes no notice whatsoever of any play acting at all, and he's decided there was nothing in this challenge. We just have a look at the replay of a little tread on the foot. There was certainly contact, but not enough, according to the referee. I think when you look at things, Jim, as well, the only thing dividing the teams on the score sheet is a set play as well, and City might just need something like that, a set play, anything to get them back in the game.
Rodri in strongly. Gets there ahead of Marco Verratti. Manchester City work the ball back inside their own half. And now played across the heart of the defence. An opportunity for Ruben Dias to bring it forward. He's got Joao Cancelo to his left. Dias with the long diagonal, and again well-intentioned, but the execution not great. And it scoots away from Riyad Mahrez and goes out of play for a goal kick. We're 5.5 into the second half here on TalkSport, and you're listening to PSG against Manchester City in the Champions League. And our coverage live on TalkSport is brought to you with Music Magpie, the UK's #1 phone recycler. Get cash for your tech the smart way. City with more intensity about the press in this second half. Foden's run it back from Verratti. Rodri has it now. Verratti slides in. Now it's come off him and out of play for a throw to Manchester City. Verratti arguing the toss, but the officials clearly got it right. Ruben Dias back for Stones. But he's some player, isn't he, Marco Verratti? Certainly one you'd want on your side rather than against you. A destroyer, playmaker, such a very clever, cultured and still improving midfielder.
I think he's been sensational. Myself and Sags talking about him at half-time. In possession, he's been fantastic, not giving away, knitted things in, got in positions that have been a problem, and out of possession, done a defensive shield.
Oh, Cancelo might be able to tiptoe his way through. Foden has it, lays it back edge of the area. Gundogan to Rodri. And the dark blue shirts come out and put the pressure on immediately. Neymar leading the press on that occasion on Stones, which means that Ruben Dias, the deepest of City's outfield players, has to be brought into it. Rodri has it now, clipping a diagonal out towards Riyad Mahrez, who takes it on the bounce with his left foot, skip through towards De Bruyne. De Bruyne trying to ride the challenge, Gay pokes it away only as far as Rodri. Joao Cancelo brings it forward, but there's such little room to work with for Manchester City. De Bruyne then has fouled Di Maria. It's a free kick to PSG, who once the whistle had gone, goes down holding the small of his back and is told to get up straight away by the German referee. But De Bruyne, Felix Brook just got involved in a little argument there about the validity of the decision. And seeing the replay, you can see why. But City, when they get possession, that kind of area, they look up and every passing avenue is closed off.
All they've got is these outside passes. They've got nobody at the number 9 position, and sometimes I think it's worked and worked really well for City. On this occasion, I think they're desperate for someone to go and play a number 9 role, to run in behind and stretch the back line, or at least to be a bounce off, if you like, someone to play into to get 1-2s off of.
17 successive away wins for Manchester City, but it's going to be some turnaround if they can maintain that record tonight and extend it. 1-0 down, as they've been since the 15th minute, but better possession in the second half for them, albeit that hasn't led to any real chances so far. Foden's done well here. Finds De Bruyne. Now to Joao Cancelo. Left-hand side of the penalty area. Gets towards the bar and chips it in, but couldn't get the angle right. And it's easy for Navas, who controls it, catches it, and then throws it out throw-in style for Neymar's run. And he's blocked off by Rodri. And a free kick is given PSG's way. And there's a very exaggerated, animated reaction from Rodri as the free kick goes against him.
We've taken 53 minutes for Manchester City to play from the goalkeeper through the birds with good play to get in behind, to get Cancelo advanced on the left-hand side and get across in the box, you know. And that's a lot of that is down to PSG being so compact. But on that occasion they're a little bit loose, and City, hopefully it's the first signs of City breaking down this defensive unit.
City have won 11 in their last 16 away games in the Champions League, and both of the defeats that they've suffered in that time have come on English soil against Tottenham and Liverpool. Gay laying it back to his goalkeeper, Keylor Navas, with the bleached blonde hair, the Costa Rican international, played against England in the 2014 World Cup. Playing it out from the back to find Marquinhos, the goal scorer. Di Maria with a nice turn, but he couldn't take the ball with him. And then Joao Cancelo, and he won it back, finds Foden. Foden to De Bruyne. Gay just gave him a nudge off the ball. I think it was Paredes that came a country mile to slide in there on Rodri. Play goes on. De Bruyne getting inside the box. Marquinhos blocking it on the slide, and he did really well. He's another that's had a fine game. And comes off Neymar via Ruben Dias. And out for a throw, which has been given PSG's way. We're 10 minutes into the second half. And Guardiola looking animated, clapping his hands, exhorting that little bit of extra effort out of his team. But Manchester City still trail by a goal to nil.
It's the first time in the game that I've felt as though City have got some form of ascendancy at the moment. And saying that,
here's Mbappe. Mbappe faced up by two, edge of the penalty area, goes around the outside, checks, back onto his right foot, goes around the outside again, fires it in, and very nearly found Verratti. City get it away, but that is Kylian Mbappe in a nutshell. Breathtaking pace, great poise, superb control, little step over, vision, invention, and Verratti was 2 inches away from turning it in.
Well, City have had probably the strongest 10 minutes of a game. Looked as though they were just turning the screw a little bit on PSG, and PSG said, oh no you're not. And Mbappe, absolutely excellent. If you're fronting him up in the box, you can't touch him. His feet are too quick. 0 to 60, incredible.
In comes the corner, headed away and over the bar by Di Maria. And out of play for a goal kick.
Well, a little bit of a concern for City, you know. They've had 4 corners now and got first contact. One leading to the goal and the other 2 leading to headers, albeit slightly wayward, that one, but they're still first contacts.
Angel Di Maria, who was on that occasion, a man who was in the PSG side, beaten by City in the quarter-finals in 2016. Won the Champions League. In fact, he was man of the match when he won it in 2014 with Real Madrid. Navas, a 3-time winner of this competition. Neymar's won it as well. Scored in the final for Barca in 2015. So they know what it's all about, even if as this entity they have never won the competition. City in the same boat, of course. PSG finalists last year, hoping to get back there this year. Bernardo Silva finding Gundogan. Gundogan's got Joao Cancelo on the edge of the box. Gundogan turning away though, turning it onto his right foot. Can't get himself into a shooting position. When he looked up, there were 8 PSG players in his line of vision. But De Bruyne are able to bring it forward now. Foden might be able to take over. Gay defending in an unorthodox manner with the raised arm. Foden didn't make anything of that. Mahrez is brought down by Paredes. No, he's not. The referee waves him up and says that there was no foul. PSG hammer it away, and it's back deep into Manchester City territory again, where Ederson will come out and take the throw. But City having more possession and having it in better areas. Now that has an inherent risk because of PSG's ability on the counter-attack. But City already in a position really where they've got to try and turn the screw and gamble a little bit.
Yeah, they're hovering. Mbappe and Neymar are hovering, just waiting for a turnover of possession. But for me, you know, potential looking at the bench sooner rather than later, I would suggest.
Rodri for Joao Cancelo, left-hand side of the penalty area, but he can't get across, and Di Maria brings it away.
Yeah, I think certainly Sterling to see if he can offer a more of a winger's punch.
Oh, good ball forward. Ederson read it so early, and how crucial that he did. Because Kylian Mbappe had sprinted forward, and they nearly got him in. And Ederson, there in the blink of an eye, no slouch himself. That was an excellent piece of sweeper keeping.
Done extremely well there. I mean, they're just, I don't know whether PSG are saying, yeah, keep coming on to us, keep coming on, and waiting for those breaks. But I think from City's point of view, I'd certainly be looking to dip to the bench sooner rather than later. Sterling, certainly the form he was on at the weekend would offer a little bit more in these wide areas.
Play forward there by Neymar. Manchester City able to bring it away with Foden. De Bruyne finding Gundogan. Gundogan to Bernardo Silva. He tried to turn and couldn't do so in possession because Paredes was on his back straight away. Interesting, a few moments ago, you might have heard the instruction from the City bench, Gundo, go. And he didn't press, and he just stayed off Neymar, respectfully gave him a yard of space so that he didn't get himself committed. It's very difficult having to make the decisions against the best players in the world, and Ilkay Gundogan, they passed it round him on that occasion, but you could see why he was so unwilling just to try and engage with Neymar and put the pressure on, knowing how quick the Brazilian is to be able to get it past him. City on the front foot here with Baka, getting it away from Walker, but Mahrez has got it back with De Bruyne. De Bruyne to Rodri, Foden back for Rodri, tall Spaniard playing it to the bearded Bernardo Silva. Now Riyad Mahrez, Walker trying to bend his run to be played in round the back. Rodri does well, steps around Neymar's challenge, clips in towards Foden's run. De Bruyne, oh, it's over the bar. That would have been one of the all-time great Champions League goals in Manchester City's history. Bicycle kick from Kevin De Bruyne to the left of the penalty spot. Got the angle absolutely spot on, but it flew over the bar by a couple of feet.
Yeah, I think the contact wasn't as clean as he would have liked, and just got it slightly wrong. Unusual substitution, Jim, that we've just had.
Well, Zinchenko for Cancelo, so a straight swap at left back. I just wonder whether they think that tightrope he's walking with the yellow card is that little bit too precarious.
Yeah, I think that probably might be the right judgment call on this substitution. Because you know full well you go down to 10 men against PSG, you've got a big problem.
So Cancelo off, just past the hour mark, Zinchenko on. And it's still PSG 1, Manchester City 0. Marquinhos. PSG have now scored more goals than City in this Champions League campaign, 22 to 21. It's Kylian Mbappe, who's the leading scorer in this competition, unsurprisingly. He's got 8. In fact, Erling Haaland, the only man in the competition at large who has scored more than Kylian Mbappe. 1-0 PSG lead it. Manchester City having more possession, as mentioned, in this second half. It's 70-30 second half. First half was 53-47 in their favour. All told, in the match creeping up towards the 60s now for Manchester City, but still not able to do as much with it as they would like. Foden sold his man short. Ruben Diaz slid in to make sure it wasn't a costly error. And it comes off him and goes all the way through for Navas. Gets it out quickly. PSG look to turn it over the top. Far too much on that for Mbappe. But Ben Johnson wouldn't have got on the end of that one. Zinchenko into the feet of Gundogan. Back for Zinchenko again. And now Ruben Diaz. And Diaz just controls it. 4 cuts of the green grass inside his own half. Into the feet of Zinchenko. Foden's done well to shield it. Got it back for Zinchenko, but the Ukrainians lost it to Di Maria, and he will burst forward down the right-hand side. Gundogan is tracking him. Di Maria checks back inside the box, and Zinchenko comes back. Does really well because he rectified his own error there. Winning it cleanly as Di Maria came inside the penalty area. And he's able to get it away. But PSG have it again back on halfway. 18 into the second half, and 1-0 they lead.
Yeah, just get the impression when PSG turn the ball over, they've got a threat in behind and to feet. City just seem to have that threat into feet and nothing in behind, no runner in behind, and I think they're missing a trick there a little bit.
Walker trying to provide that run in behind now, has it right inside of the penalty area, and he pulled it back, and De Bruyne hadn't made the run he thought. So the pullback came at the wrong angle. Marquinhos knocks it away and swings on the crossbar in his relief at having been able to clear what was a dangerous Manchester City counter-attacking threat. It's a corner.
Well, Cole Walker ticked 2 of the boxes I've been hoping they'd do. A, they've had a runner in behind in Cole Walker, and B, it got one of the fullbacks forward.
Corner taken. First of the second half for City. Short for Foden. Now to Zinchenko. To his doppelganger De Bruyne. Oh, it's in! It's in! Kevin De Bruyne with a cross inside the penalty area that everybody missed, including Keylor Navas. And Manchester City have a potentially priceless away goal. Sometimes, just sometimes, you need that little bit of luck if you're going to lift silverware. And Manchester City have had a big dollop of it there. It's one apiece.
They certainly have. De Bruyne likes to pull into these deep line areas, then a little in-swinger. The goalkeeper's had a shocker, by the way. He's got to do a lot better on that. He's just feathered the ball in the box, and there wasn't really anyone coming close to the ball to head it. It's just put him off, and it's sailed into the fight. It's poor goalkeeping, but it's just what City needed to get them back into this game.
Wow, what a moment. And Kevin De Bruyne, who scored in both legs of the quarter-final against PSG back in 2016, has netted in the semi-finals against them in 2021. One apiece. Well, on the balance of play, you'd have to say, you've got to hold your hands up, be honest, and say that Manchester City don't deserve that. But it's a Champions League semi-final, who cares?
Well, as I say, with all the quality on the pitch, the goals come from a set play, and now I wouldn't say a speculative ball into the box, but not one of De Bruyne's best, but put into an area that asked the question. The goalkeeper, well, he was really awful. Should have done a lot better.
Well, you think back 20 odd years ago, Gianfranco Zola used to be a master at knocking free kicks in like that from outside the penalty area, knowing that if nobody touched it, he would have a chance of creeping in past the goalkeeper. And De Bruyne's ball in didn't have that kind of pace, but it had the curve, it had the accuracy, it had the bounce, and importantly it had the sleeping goalkeeper. And it's 1-1 on TalkSport as Rodri plays it back for Bernardo Silva. Now for Walker to Bernardo again. And that changes the complexion of the tie completely.
It certainly does. I mean, in the first half when City conceded, I said that they've got to, settle down a little bit, don't panic. PSG, once again, they've got to do a similar type of thing. They've been comfortable in the game, they've been looking decent, looked as though they might counter to get the second. All of a sudden it's 1-1.
Marquinhos, scorer of the PSG goal, laying it square to his left-hand side for Kimpembe. And now it goes forward towards back for Kimpembe again. Verratti dropping deep. He's covered a huge amount of ground tonight. And he just brings it forward here. And maybe led into Mahrez actually to win the free kick, but he got the decision. And it's a PSG ball midway between the halfway line and the edge of their own penalty area. De Bruyne goal is 9th of the season. And 3 of them have come in this Champions League campaign. Ferran Torres, the leading City scorer in the Champions League this season with 4. Another potential option off the bench. We're midway through the second half. You're listening to PSG against Manchester City in the Champions League. It's live on TalkSport with McDonald's McDelivery. Order McDelivery now on the Uber Eats or Just Eat app. We deliver. Zinchenko in possession. And here's Stuart Pearce.
Yeah, I'm not sure. City have managed to fashion an equaliser, and they look as though they've grown in confidence accordingly. Neymar's body language is berating Baka for an errant pass there. It's just flustered PSG a little bit, which is a good sign.
A goal, first that Manchester City have ever scored away from home in a Champions League or any European semi-final. Baka laying it back to his goalkeeper. Beaten by Real Madrid in the semis 5 years ago. It was an own goal. It was the only goal on aggregate over the 2 ties. Scored by Fernando. Manchester City on the board tonight as Mbappe just got caught underneath the flight of the ball forward and stayed down for a moment, just holding his foot. Play goes on. Gundogan finding Foden. Back for Gundogan again. Now towards Kevin De Bruyne. De Bruyne making his way towards the edge of the penalty area to the feet of Foden. Gundogan to Walker. Walker to Mahrez. Mahrez, the bottom right-hand corner of the penalty area here for Manchester City. Baka obediently stands there shepherding him away. Bernardo Silva takes over for City. That's a lovely turn, getting away from Verratti. Then he pulls it back towards Walker. Walker adeptly knocking it back behind square, finding Rodri to Foden to Gundogan, and Zinchenko making a good run forward, but didn't try and pick him out. He's gone for De Bruyne instead. Slightly more conservative build-up from City, stringing the passes together. Gundogan to Mahrez, Foden, and Gay's brought him down, and it's a free kick, plumb dead centre, about 8 yards outside the box.
City are just moving that ball a little bit quicker now, a bit sharper, and all of a sudden PSG are not defending as well as they were in the first half, and it's just asking the odd question. They've got a wonderful opportunity here, probably about 23-24 metres out from goal, central.
Leandro Paredes has gone in the book. That was for kicking the ball away after Gay had brought Foden down.
This game just tells you at the highest level of international football, or certainly European football, where you've got to keep a cool head, especially when things are going against you slightly. Just seeing a little bit of niggle now in the PSG ranks. Neymar's body language, berating one of his players for a bad pass, Paredes kicking the ball away and getting booked. All of those type of things, you've got to make sure you're as cool as ice when things go against you.
So PSG lining up the wall, and there's 4 in that wall. Player lying down behind it as well. Kevin De Bruyne has on a number of occasions been not the one right along the floor underneath the jumping wall. City have a line of 3 in front of the 5-strong PSG wall. De Bruyne and Gundogan standing over it. Mahrez too. It's Mahrez, left foot in. Oh, it's in again! Manchester City lead 2-1. They've scored twice in 6 minutes. And if there was an element of good fortune about the first, there's no luck whatsoever about that. A magnificent free kick from Riyad Mahrez. And Manchester City have turned it around through the wall, past Navas. It's PSG 1, Manchester City 2. Are they on their way to their first ever Champions League final?
Well, that is absolutely awful. I was going to blame the goalkeeper for not lining his wall up correctly. Having watched the replay, the ball has gone between the 2 end players. They've jumped, created a wonderful little hole for the ball to go through, and at the top level of of European football, we've had a set play goal which Manchester City will be disappointed they've conceded, and the 2 goals City have scored have been farcical, to be quite honest with you, but credit to them.
Riyad Mahrez getting Manchester City ahead. Man who was born on the outskirts of Paris, breaking the hearts of those in his hometown. Still a long way to go. 18 minutes tonight, another 90 minutes live on TalkSport next Tuesday, potentially another 30 minutes after that, but it's PSG 1, Manchester City 2, and now they could be on for an 18th straight away win. They could be on for taking a first leg advantage back to the Etihad next week. We're in Manchester tomorrow, incidentally. United in action in their Europa League semi-final against Roma. That one live for you tomorrow night. The build-up starts at 7 and 8 o'clock kick-off on TalkSport 2. We'll keep you updated with Villarreal against Arsenal. The ball is far inside the penalty area. Neymar loses out to Ruben Diaz. Villarreal Arsenal going live for you on TalkSport 2 tomorrow night as City work the ball out. De Bruyne has gone down with a yelp of pain, and he might need some treatment. 73 on the clock. PSG 1, Manchester City 2. 10 minutes ago, City were losing. Now they're ahead.
I can't believe the swings that have been involved in this game. You know, PSG were comfortable in the game up till half time. and all of a sudden their composure's just totally gone. Marquinhos there, just basically very, very fortunate not to get a booking, or even worse, to be fair. They've just lost their composure slightly.
Well, since Pochettino arrived at the club, they've lost 5 games, and 4 of them have been at home. And now Neymar, for whom the red mist has long since descended, is going to get himself into trouble here. It's a yellow card for a foul long after the ball had gone on Ruben Diaz on the edge of the Manchester City penalty area, and Neymar's caution.
Just about got the words out of my mouth about losing composure, and he's just run up to Diaz and just kicked him as Diaz has kicked the ball away. I mean, it was just petulant. It was ridiculous, to be honest with you. And if you're a City defender now, you just keep niggling away at him and just bringing him on and saying, come on, son, come on. Early bath.
Suspension for the second leg. 15 to go. 2-1 to Manchester City, who haven't been at their best tonight by any stretch of the imagination, but they lead. Rodri played out towards Bernardo Silva. Bernardo Silva back in field towards Kevin De Bruyne. De Bruyne trying to get away from Gay's challenge. Takes it on again inside the box. Kimpembe forces him to go wide. Mahrez hooks it in. Flick header from Foden. And Navas can make the save.
Yeah, Foden, it was there, just drove into that near post area and got a sort of backward flick header on. And to be honest with you, Navas is not filling me with too much confidence, but he couldn't have got that wrong.
PSG bring it along in the final 15 minutes of this first leg. Manchester City next in action away to Palace. Saturday 12:30 win that game. They're within 3 points of winning the title. And then depending on what happens in the Liverpool United game later in the weekend, they might be crowned champions before they meet PSG next week. But that game is live for you on TalkSport. Palace against Manchester City, 12:30 Saturday. And on Saturday, we also have Sheffield Wednesday Forest in the Championship on TalkSport 2, followed by Swansea Derby, and then Chelsea Fulham, Saturday tea time at 5:30, and Everton Villa at 8 o'clock. Both of those games exclusive on TalkSport. Here's Zinchenko bringing the ball forward. 14 now. PSG 1, Manchester City 2. Jim Prather and Stuart Pearce talking through the action from our studio monitors in London. As Zinchenko brings the ball forward towards the edge of the penalty area. He's laid it off for Gundogan. Ilkay Gundogan to his right-hand side for Rodri. Rodri controls it, finds Bernardo Silva. Silva plays it through towards Foden. Chipped over the top, good movement from Bernardo Silva. Cushion header down towards Foden by the corner flag. Foden gets there ahead of Baka. City now beginning to stretch the PSG defence out a little bit more. Gundogan caught with a really rash challenge from behind. That was a poor one from Gay. Now it's going to be a free kick to Manchester City.
In all honesty, on first viewing of that, that's a sending off offence. He had no intent whatsoever of dealing with the ball. He just wanted to lay a bit of hurt on the player. It was a ridiculous challenge. PSG have had 2 bookings now in recent times, and they're about to lose the game, and probably lose by more than they should have done. And their play over certainly the first half deserves they should have done. But if you lose your call at this level, you're in big trouble.
Well, Gay is called over and he's off. And PSG are down to 10 men. Idrissa Gana Gueye sent off for his challenge. And Manchester City's night is getting better and better. He'll be suspended for the second leg. And they've got 15 minutes of playing time tonight to make the most of the numerical advantage. The referee, Dr. Felix Brook, gave himself a lot of thinking time. But the replay clearly shows he was out of control. He was in high, studs down the top of the ankle of Ilkay Gundogan, and he can have no complaints. And in the last 15 minutes, this is unravelled spectacularly quickly for PSG.
Jim, I've got to say, we've seen a replay of that. I thought it was poor when I first saw it. It was a disgraceful challenge. It could have broke the kid's ankle. I hope he's not injured. Gundogan's on the floor at the moment getting treatment. It was a horrific challenge from behind, straight down his Achilles. Could have broken his ankle comfortably. And PSG, for losing their heads as they have, I hope that this certainly both ties go beyond them. If City get another goal, which they might well do, I think the tie's over. Both legs are over.
Oh, we're just getting another view of it. I mean, it's a lamentable challenge. And the PSG players are saying it should have been a yellow card. Well, they haven't seen the replay. They haven't seen the replay that we've seen. I mean, there can be absolutely no complaints. It's a double red, really. Gundogan, thankfully, is back on his feet. He might not be able to continue, but he is going to be able to leave the field under his own steam, and that didn't seem guaranteed. He might yet be able to go on. City were getting Fernandinho ready. Danilo Pereira is going to come on right now, though, for PSG, as they try and chase the game. Pereira, centre-half, Portuguese international on loan from Porto. He came on for the final 6 minutes of the first leg against Barcelona. And he will come on now for Angel Di Maria. And he can play at centre-half. He can also play in a central midfield position. And you would imagine that that is where he will come on. And he'll play alongside Paredes. So PSG 1, Manchester City 2. City a goal up and a man up with 10 minutes of this first leg to play. 20 minutes ago, you could have got any price you liked on this. But Manchester City hanging in there. And now taking the game by the scruff of the neck. Bernardo Silva making his way forward, trying to get away from Bakker. Back for De Bruyne, clips inside the penalty area. And couldn't find Zinchenko. Out of play, goal kick. We're in the final 10 and City lead 2-1 against the 10 men of PSG.
I think a couple of things have happened in this game, and especially the second half. PSG have stopped working as hard defensively, and it's enabled City to come in the game. And secondly, their discipline, whether it be discipline to put a decent wall up and not jump and shy away from the ball that's cost them a goal, and certainly discipline in regard to just challenges. I mean, that was such a bad challenge. Why would you do that?
Zinchenko. Back towards Ruben Dias and now towards Gundogan. Gundogan's okay. Thankfully, he's able to continue. He's not moving with complete fluency, but he's all right. Zinchenko again in towards Gundogan. Back for the Ukrainian, who will turn neatly, flick it forward towards Gundogan on the left-hand side, plays it forward, Foden back to Zinchenko. Manchester City, like few other sides, good at exposing opposition when they've only got 10 men. Or Mahrez trying to do that now. Paredes has come back. Of course, they couldn't do it against Leeds United in that recent Premier League game, but that was an exception rather than the rule. Can they score a third goal? So they take a 3-1 win back to Manchester. You'd think that that is just about job done already. 9 minutes plus stoppage time for him to find another goal. They'll bring it forward now. Bernardo Silva gets to the byline, checks back. Finds Mahrez to Rodri taking it on inside the penalty area, still he goes, pulled back, chested down by Florenzi, into the hands of his goalkeeper Keylor Navas. City lead 2-1.
For all the good defending in the first half, all of a sudden players are not going with their runners, people are not doubling up. Manchester City are getting overloads now, and PSG are having a real problem, and I think for the next 9 minutes or so they'll be delighted to get off this pitch 2-1.
Well, for all the undoubted skill and talent that took them to a Champions League final last year and it's taken them to the last 4 this year, they do have a flaky side. You've got to go back 10 years for the last time they lost this many league games in a single season. They're going to make another change now, and Paredes is coming off. He also is on a yellow card, and Herrera is going to come on to replace him. Herrera, who played in 8 Manchester derbies in his time with United, won 3 and lost 3 of those 8. Europa League winner with United, and he comes on. PSG 1, Manchester City 2. PSG down to 10 men after Gay was set off. Here's Gundogan out to the right-hand touchline. City just playing the passes close range now. It's almost like a rondo at times over on the right-hand side, trying to draw the PSG players in. Now it comes down towards Zinchenko, left-hand side of the penalty area. Gundogan in a more central area, trying to work the angles. Back for Zinchenko. PSG forced to drop back and sit in deep. Zinchenko out towards the right for Mahrez. Mahrez taking on Neymar, and Neymar did enough that time. Mahrez ends up on the deck, ball's out of play for a throw. Neymar with an extravagant attempt to pass the ball with his chest from the throw and just gave it to the nearest Manchester City player.
I think he's absolutely rife to draw a challenge off of and get him sent off now. You know, I think he's running semi out of control.
Well, he's already on a yellow after a ridiculous challenge on Ruben Dias. Here's Kevin De Bruyne. De Bruyne towards the edge of the penalty area. The ball spun down towards Rodri. Mahrez will take over and fires it wider than the opposed.
Yeah, just pulled it a little bit too close there. There's so many gaps opening up now in the PSG back line. It's a hell of a contrast compared to the first half. I was so sort of buoyant about their defending. Second half, they've just lost their way a little bit.
But they still have Kylian Mbappe. Well, Mbappe couldn't find Neymar in what was a promising position. Far and away the best opportunity the PSG have been able to create themselves in the last 15 minutes or so, but they couldn't make anything of it. Enough lays the blue shirts back. Gundogan playing it forward now for Zinchenko. Back in Parisian territory. Bernardo Silva, De Bruyne being able to find not just pockets of space, but chasms now. Walker making a run outside Mahrez. Mahrez clips it nonchalantly back to Ilkay Gundogan. Zinchenko forward in support one side, Rodri the other. Goes to the Spaniard, quickly into the feet of De Bruyne. Work back towards John Stones. And now forward again towards Mahrez. So the legs deliberately off De Bruyne to find Gundogan. Gundogan to Zinchenko. Zinchenko liberal the edge of the penalty area. Alex Zinchenko. Gundogan, straight ball over the top. Oh, and they nearly did it again. Baka tried to deal with it, missed his kick. Goalkeeper came out, he missed it, but the ball that time went wide of the pair of them and out of play for a goal kick.
Well, an absolute disaster by Baka, but the only plus he had, he was that bad, he missed the ball, and Navas come out and he was all at sea as well. Incredible.
Well, had Baka got anything on that, he might have diverted it into his own net, and now a PSG player has gone down, and Kevin De Bruyne is going to be called over by the referee. Now, how serious was this off the ball? What sanction will there be to Kevin De Bruyne? Is it going to be a yellow card shown by the referee? It is. And De Bruyne walks away, no real discernible complaint for him. Hands outstretched as he looks back to some of his teammates. It was off the ball, and he's gone in with his left foot over the top. Not deliberate, I don't think, certainly not out of control. And Neymar puts his hand around the back of De Bruyne's neck. I think a yellow card was the right verdict. There's no real malice in it, but he did catch Danilo Pereira on the top of the foot.
I think we're fortunate we've got a very strong referee here tonight. I almost feel sorry for him. I don't think it is good for football to see almost to a man the PSG players wanting De Bruyne sent off. The difference being between that and the earlier challenge. The earlier challenge had real intent in it on Gundogan. That challenge for me was accidental, certainly a yellow card, no more.
Yeah, the earlier one from Gay was high, much later, and a leg breaker, potential leg breaker. Here's Foden. Foden making his way forward now. Still Phil Foden, good, strong, dynamic running, and he couldn't quite get the shot in. Guided either side of the goalkeeper. Foden then ended up on the deck inside the box, and whether Marquinhos was trying to help him up, Foden's reaction suggests it might have been a little bit more than that.
He was helping him up by the neck. Oh dear. They really have lost a lot of discipline, PSG, and I'm a little bit disappointed in them for that. They've been architects in their own downfall, I think, this evening.
Marquinhos bringing the ball forward. Zinchenko is in there, snapping at the heels of Neymar. Neymar controlling it, bringing it away, takes it towards the halfway line. Still he's got it, and then Gundogan has had a tempestuous tackle on him. He's brought him down, and it's a free kick. No card for that. Neymar brings it forward, and then Gundogan wins it cleanly. That was an excellent challenge. The first one wasn't, that one was. PSG then win it back as Manchester City give it away. 2-1 to City against the 10 men of PSG. And then another foul under Herrera caught by Rodri. And it's a free kick to PSG, which will be taken, level with the right-hand edge of the box. Almost, just a little bit out to the touchline from there, but 20 yards outside the penalty area. And I think a set piece will probably be their best way back into the game from here. We're in the 89th minute, and Manchester City lead it 2-1. Marquinhos, score of the first goal, amongst the targets here. Neymar with a delivery, good defensive header away. Out for Ander Herrera, edge of the penalty area, hook back in. Marquinhos, with the brush of his curly hair, can get a touch on it, and then Danilo Pereira doesn't quite win a corner, he gets it in. Bernardo Silva did well in defending it, flicking it back into Danilo and out of play. It's a goal kick, and will be in the 90th minute by the time Edison takes it. PSG 1, Manchester City 2.
Yeah, City defended that fantastically well. Really good strong line, all dropped together, no gaps between the line. And I think purely for City's, they've been fortunate getting back into the game, there's no doubt about that. Goalkeeper, big error for me for the first one. Second one, the wall was awful. So really two poor goals they've conceded, but they've been genuine in their endeavours, City, and may have got that little lifeline that gets you over the line in games like this.
De Bruyne stumbling, but getting back to his feet to maintain possession. Remember, PSG have had two spectacular away results in Europe already this season. Two scorelines away from home in the last two rounds, both of which would be good enough to eliminate Manchester City if they can replicate them at the Etihad. They won 4-1 at Barcelona, they won 3-2 at Bayern Munich. Both of those were first legs, but if they can get either of those scorelines next Tuesday, live on TalkSport, they will knock Manchester City out. So this is not all over yet. A third one, and City will certainly feel that they're knocking on the door. We're in 4 minutes of stoppage time. 2-1 Manchester City lead. Ball chipped by Rodri. Out to Riyad Mahrez. Mahrez taking on Bakker. Back for Rodri again. Rodri controlling it, chipping it over the top. Florenzi chesting it down. Navas, the goalkeeper, comes out, picks it up, rolls it out. Attempting bowling style towards Neymar. Neymar very quickly on the turn into the feet of Ander Herrera, who's riding the challenges, and then he was played forward towards Neymar. Ruben Dias has, let's say, dealt with him. He's ended up on the deck. I think play actually initially stopped for the earlier challenge on Ander Herrera, but it's a free kick either way to PSG just inside their own half. 3 minutes of stoppage time to go. 2-1 to Manchester City.
Yeah, game's full of a lot of niggle at this moment in time. A little bit of play acting thrown into the mix as well.
Another free kick given away. Gundogan just pulling on the shoulder of Herrera. Neymar standing over this free kick. Marquinhos makes his way forward. Danilo is in there as well. 2-1 to City. Free kick chipped inside the box. Edison can't come out and deal with that. Really good defensive header from Stones. Diverted it into a neutral part of the pitch out towards the touchline. Walker then gets there first to get it away. Verratti picks it up on the edge of the centre circle. Pulled down by De Bruyne. And Verratti takes the free kick quickly, although he hit it with a foot that hadn't got a boot on at that stage. Just so desperate was he to restart play. Eke as many seconds out of the clock as he could so PSG could try and get an equaliser. Bakker then gives it away, goes out for a throw that will be taken by City, and there are 2 remaining minutes of stoppage time. PSG 1, Manchester City 2. Walker pretending that he wants to take the throw quickly, stops, then shuffles forward another couple of yards and didn't have the movement that he wanted, so stops again. PSG win it and bring it forward. Neymar towards the edge of the penalty area. Zinchenko sliding in, just got it away from both Mbappe and Florenzi. Foden calmly knocks it out from the back. 1-2 with Gundogan. Now play forward for Rodri. And he might break through the midfield. He didn't get the angle that he wanted on the pass, which was deflected away from De Bruyne. Now be picked up again at the back by Keylor Navas for PSG. 90 seconds to go. 2-1 to Manchester City. They've come from behind with goals from De Bruyne and Mahrez in the space of 6 minutes. Long ball over the top. Mbappe's going to chase it, and Ruben Dias goes shoulder to shoulder with him to ease him, nudge him away. Ball goes through for Edison, and the referee will let play continue. And City are a minute away.
Yeah, there's certainly every trick in the book. Players going down extremely trickily, trying to draw free kicks, bookings, potential sendings off. And I've got to say, I think the referee has been consistently very good. I think you need a very, very strong referee to referee this game, and he's certainly been that.
Zinchenko finding Gundogan through the midfield. Manchester City looking to set the seal on it, playing it out towards Mahrez to Rodri, Foden almost able to take the ball on the turn and get inside the penalty area. Kimpembe knocked it away. Maya break for De Bruyne from distance over the bar, fire deflection off Herrera, and Manchester City have a corner and the chance to run the clock down with only 20 seconds left on the clock.
Yeah, as you say, it's a run the clock down scenario, but it's also an opportunity to potentially get the third, and as you said earlier, the third kills this tie totally.
It is taken short for De Bruyne. Still City will look to try and work the angle to get inside the penalty area. Bernardo Silva, outfield Foden getting himself into a shooting position, check back in, De Bruyne didn't read the pass forward, and that is the end of the first leg. For a long time in Paris, it looked as though Manchester City were going to have another frustrating night in the semi-final of European competition. Marquinhos had given PSG a deserved lead, but 20 minutes into the second half, a free goal from Kevin De Bruyne got City level. 6 minutes later, a Riyad Mahrez free kick put them ahead. And then when Idrissa Gana Gueye was sent off, Manchester City knew that they would, in all likelihood, be taking a first leg advantage back to Manchester. That is the way that it's transpired. A positive result next week, and they're through to the Champions League final for the first time in their history. PSG 1, Manchester City 2.